Strap yourself in for whatever prohibited and available in the state of shock.
Hey everybody, Dan Schinder here on Drum Talk TV on the stage of Journey with Deen Castronovo. Deen, how are you, man?
Fantastic, Dan. Just played last night here and playing again tonight.
It was great. I saw it. It was a great show, and I have to tell you, a great show, but I didn't really recognize any of the songs.
I don't know any of them, actually. I still don't. It's all tapes. I just look for it.
Actually, you know what? I got to start out by telling you, Deen, okay, you've been with Journey since 2001?
No, actually, I joined them in 98.
98,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
2001 was the first recording you were on.
That was we did Arrival, and then we ended up doing the 2001 video.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that was live at Mandalay Bay, yeah.
Now, we're about the same age. I'm a year older than you are, and we don't need to tell anybody what that is.
I'm old.
However, and I'm older. However, what it means is that Journey really has become, over the years, one of those bands that is life's soundtracks. You know, the soundtracks to our lives type of band.
Yes.
And you joined the band into a very healthy legacy of the band's career.
Totally.
And you got to play a lot of songs that we heard in high school and afterwards, but then also help carry that legacy further. What's that been like?
Well, dude, just to be able to play Steve Smith's parts, it's the coolest thing ever. Obviously, you try to keep them as close to the originals because they're perfect, you know. But to be in this band, there's times when I'll be walking with my my buddy Eric, who's out on the road with me here, and I stop and I look at him, dude, I'm in Journey. It blows my mind, and to be able to carry on this legacy. I mean, the only part I had of the earlier legacy was I bought all the records. Right. You know, I went to every show I could. You know, and Steve Smith is still one of my biggest influences. But yeah, it's pretty humbling, dude. I'm so fortunate.
Did you ever get into the real early years with Ainsley Dunbar when they were more on the progressive side of things?
You know, I didn't actually get into Journey until Infinity. I was in a band called The Enemy. Oh, scary. And and the guitarist at the time, he was 23, 24, and he brought Infinity and said, here, man, learn these songs. And I was like, man, it was incredible. Just incredible to hear that stuff. So I didn't get into it until Steve joined the band. And that's when I was hooked right from there.
Yeah, absolutely. As the rest of the world was. Yeah. And last night was an amazing night, folks. This is being recorded August 29th, 2013. And I happened to get a little heads up on this, so I was waiting for it. But last night for the encores, Greg Raleigh and Carlos Santana came out and played two songs. One was a Carlos Santana jam. One was quite an old Journey song. It was on the B side.
Yes.
And it was a B side, and it was the Latin song. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name.
La Raza del Sol.
That's right. And it's percussively, it's absolutely a symphony. And you were just off the hook. It's amazing.
Thank you, bro. And for me, it's like I love that song, but it's like, yeah, you're on the fly, and I don't do the same things every night. You know, with the exception of some stuff. But I mean, that song, it's like we just worked it up like 2-3 days ago. I was like, okay, do I remember all this stuff? And then you got Carlos on stage and Greg, and you're like, you know,
right.
I hope I don't suck.
That would be a bad time to suck.
Like, oh my gosh.
Have you ever played with Greg joining you guys before?
I played with Greg once in Austin. He came out and we did Just the Same Way, and I got to do the Steve Perry part, which was really cool.
Oh, that's great. Oh, wait, and I gotta, for those of you who don't know, Deen is a magnificent drummer and musician, and just as magnificent a singer. Many people don't know that till they come see you guys live or watch the documentary. How did that evolve? Have you always sung? Did it evolve when you joined the band? What's the story behind that?
I started singing actually when that 23-year-old guitarist brought him in. He said, well, you haven't reached puberty yet. You should be able to hit these notes. I swear to God. He was like, you can do this. And I was like, all right. So I learned the songs and sang the stuff. And I mean, Steve Perry is still one of my favorite singers of all time. So I'm a good Perry clone. I'm not the greatest. Obviously, Perry will always be the best, and he's the voice, and you don't even get close to that. But I try to do the songs justice if I can.
And you do. And not only is it all about the lead vocals, but when all five of you are singing and you get all those harmonies going, it's very musical. It's always been a very musical band, obviously. I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but seriously, when you hear it live, there's so many bands that don't pull off their recordings, especially 20, 30, 35 years later. Yeah. And you guys are with Ross and Neil on vocals, and absolutely
everybody in this band sings, and that's a huge part of the Journey sound. And if you don't got that, you're losing a lot, and that's important for us,
Talk to me. Are we allowed to talk about the Young Royals on the Journey stage? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Young Royals rule.
Talk to us about the Young Royals. I checked out some of that. I don't want to be the one to describe it to everybody if they're new to it. So what is your, and maybe each member would have their own description, Dean,
Yeah.
but what's your take on the Young Royals that you play with?
First of all, I had to force my way into that band. And I'm not kidding. Eric works for the band, works for Journey as well, and he was playing me this stuff. I was like, dude, I want to play on that stuff. Well, we got a drummer, we got a guy, we're kind of working with him, and it's all good. And I was like, month 2, I'm like, dude, I want to do this. It's like, well, man, maybe we'll do a side project together. Let's do something on the side. And finally, I just gave him the ultimatum. Look, dude, if I don't join your band, I'm firing you. I got the gig. So, to me, it's and this is a strange cross, but it's a cross between the Beatles, Zeppelin, and Alice in Chains.
That's an interesting description. Yeah, I could hear that.
Yeah, it's very cool. And Eric Bradley, he's the singer and songwriter, main songwriter, and this stuff's just incredible, dude.
What do you enjoy the most about playing in that band?
That it's all groove oriented. There's not a bunch of stuff going on. It's a 4-piece drum kit.
Right.
And that's really nice. Just sit back and just play for the song.
Purple, if I remember, right?
Purple acrylic, DW.
To go with Royal.
Exactly. Yeah. Bro, it's purple. It's great, though. A lot of fun. And the guys are great guys, too. That was a huge thing. The chemistry was fantastic, Dan. And that's huge.
Important.
Huge thing. So while I'm up here blasting away and playing lick after lick, I lay back and just play for the song. It's really cool.
Now, you've played with a lot of, to say stars wouldn't even, a lot of musical icons. Yeah. Some in the same vein as each other, some not. Everything from Geezer Butler, Ozzy Osborne, Paul Rogers.
Incredible.
You played for the largest star in Italy, Vasco, who, for people who don't, and Glenn Sobel played with him as well, who's a family member of Drum Talk TV. How would you explain to people who don't know Vasco? Is he like the Rod Stewart or the Michael Jackson of Italy, basically?
He's the Bruce Springsteen.
The Bruce Springsteen.
Definitely. When I was with him, it was in 96. I did 10 months with him over there. It was incredible. And we sold out San Siro, which is a 100,000-seat stadium, soccer stadium, football stadium, if you want to call it over in Europe.
And he plays football, too.
Yeah, I'm really good. And we sold that place out 3 nights in a row, 100,000 people.
That's crazy.
It was incredible, dude. One of the coolest jobs I've ever had.
Will music ever do that in the U.S. again? That's not a festival. I mean, this is a guy on tour. It's not even like the Wacken Fest or something. Right. It's a dude booking his shows, selling 3 nights out for 100,000 people. You remember in the old days when we were growing up, there were all the stadium tours, the arena tours. Yeah. And I'm not saying it needs to come back. I'm just curious what your barometer check is on the live end of the music industry at this point.
I think festivals are really what's driving stuff. I mean, we've done amazingly well, but it's the packaging. Irving Azoff and John Barrick, our managers, are really smart about getting the proper package. And next year's package is going to be amazing with Steve Miller and ourselves. So that's going to be a huge thing. And then next year, there's talk of another amazing thing that I can't talk about. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
We'll get with you when you can.
Yes, you will.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, before we shift gears completely and go give everyone a tour of your kit, let's talk a little bit of drums. Who are some of your influences that might not be so obvious to people? And this is a fun part of the interview for me, because sometimes you find out about a drummer that is from a genre of music so far removed from what people know you as that they're like, whoa, really? Hopefully it opens their mind to go listen to some other stuff.
Well, like I was telling you earlier, Kiss was my Beatles. I saw that, and Peter Criss was the reason I started playing, okay? And then you're going to love this, I saw Rush when I was 11.
Huge Rush fan.
I saw Rush open for Kiss. No kidding. I was like, oh, yeah, that guy, here's Peter Criss with all these drums, and he plays well. But then Neil Peart comes out, and he plays them all, and he's just tearing it up. And that just inspired
that. Still is.
Oh, dude, Neil is an icon as well, just an amazing player. So it went from Peter Criss to Neil Peart to Steve Smith and Terry Bozzio. And those are the guys that I listened to. Those are the guys that I studied. And I never read music. I don't know how to do any of that kind of stuff. I just kind of, listen to the records, plug in the headphones, and just go, So that's how I learned.
That's awesome. That's great.
There's not really any guys that I love really heavy music. I'm a big fan of Fear Factory, Raymond Herrera, Gene Hoglan. Oh gosh, the list goes on and on. Joey Jordison.
Yeah.
Those are the guys. Paul Bostaph. Dave Lombardo. I mean, it could go on forever. But I was in a metal band before I got into the pop rock thing, and
Right.
so it was cool. I listened to a lot of those guys, and obviously I've been playing Journey for so long, I forgot how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? I heard a lot of fusion-esque stuff last night. Not just in your drum solo, which honestly was amazing, and I don't throw that around. And obviously, being a drummer my whole life, having a TV show on the internet about drummers, I watch a fair amount of drum solos.
Sure you do, bro. And
it was
usually, that's when people go to get the beer or the T-shirt. Right? Yeah.
And I turned, I looked to my wife, and her mouth was hanging open. It was,
bro.
Seriously. And she's sorry she couldn't be here, by the way. You'll meet her another time, though.
Another time.
So it beckons the question, some guys get to a level in their mind where they don't really work at drumming that much anymore. They do a record, they do a tour, they take a break, and then they start fresh again. Right. Are you of that mindset, or do you shed it all, or do you still look for new things to develop your style different, or what's your workout routine, if you will?
The funny thing is when I go home, it's family time and it's kids time, and I've got 2 sons and 2 daughters, and for me, this is like bringing your work home with you.
Right.
I mean, we tour so much. It's like, okay, now it's time to be a dad. My kids need a father.
Yeah.
And it's important to be there for the children and be there for my fiance, and that's kind of what it does. I play and I do stuff, and now that I'm with the Young Royals, I'm definitely doing a lot more playing.
Right.
But most of the time,
and different kinds of playing too.
Exactly. But for me, to sit down and try and study something, since I don't read, and I'm not that kind of a. I've always just played from my heart, and if it feels good, I just play, and I get as good as I can get. I mean, you can always get better, obviously, but for me, it's like I can only do so much in Journey. You got to stay true to those parts.
Yeah.
With the Young Royals, it's a very straight ahead thing. I know a lot of guys that do. They'll just woodshed for days, and I know a great drummer from Nickelback, Daniel Adair, ridiculous player. I hear that guy just for hours. He just plays and plays and plays, and that's awesome. And you can tell that he's that great of a player. He can do that. I don't have the patience. Learn.
And that's okay. Everybody's wired differently. We will learn differently. We work out differently if we work out at all.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that, like you say, when you're not doing all that, it's family time. It was weird when we first started communicating, and something just flashed in my mind, and I called one of my daughters, and I said, Did you used to tell me that you used to hang out with Deen Castronovo's son? And she's all, because they live in Oregon, and she's all, yeah. And she started telling me the story, and that's when I hit you. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember them. It was just weird, out of the blue sort of connection.
Small world. Yeah. Now Kyle's going down the road. He's actually not playing drums. He's playing guitar in a band called Mortified Mortician. They're opening up for Wednesday 13, which is another offshoot of the Murder Dolls, which Joey Jordison is in. So they're doing that thing. But it's a small world to see him doing. He's kind of moving up in his little area, and the boy kicks my butt on drums.
That's awesome.
It's ridiculous. It's like, amazing kid.
That's cool. Before we look at the kid, I gotta ask for a Deen Castronovo fun fact.
Okay.
So I have, you give me one, and then I have a request for one.
Okay. My fun fact. Let me see. I'm no fun.
Oh yeah, you can tell. I was at the show last night. Dude is no fun whatsoever.
Gosh, I am.
Let me ask you this: you're a world traveler for years and years and years. What is the one place, Deen, that you go to that still just gives you goosebumps, and whether it's a city or an arena or a country, and you just go, "Wow, I just can't believe I'm here doing this."
Red Rocks. Still.
Really?
Yes. There's something about that place, and I think it hit me. It always stuck with me is when Bad English played there back in 1990, opening up for Whitesnake.
Wow.
And it was pouring down rain, and we were all wearing these orange ponchos. It was freaking awesome. We're all like, yeah, look at us, the orange ponchos.
Like a bunch of traffic cones running around rocking out.
Awesome. I remember John Waite falling on his butt, slipping and falling. I was like, yeah, but one of the best shows I think we did on that tour.
Now, you said that with no hesitation. Is there some sort of sense of sacred ground at that place?
I don't know. There's just a certain vibe there, being it all natural and stuff, and just the way it looks, and obviously the sound is just incredible. But there's just a vibe there, and I really love it there. It's awesome.
Very cool. All right, we're going to cut real quick, and we'll meet you back here behind the kit, give you a tour of Deen's setup.
It's big.
It's real big. Okay, so we're back behind the Beast.
The Beast!
The Beast. Give us a little rundown, because whenever I post pictures of your kit, Dean, people just pile on. So I thought this would be really cool to give them an inside view of the cockpit of your rocket ship, if you will.
Dude, that is awesome. That's great.
It is what it is, man.
That is awesome.
And you can see some of the liftoff marks here. You see those?
Yeah, that's just from last night. We chased these out. I just beat the crud out of them. But we got the 2 pound bass drums on each side. I love them. We only had one for a long time, and it was great. But I was like, dude, it's kind of empty over here, Steve. I said, and he's like,
and you put it to work. It's not for looks, which is great.
You gotta smack them around. Yeah. Well, I figure this way, man. If I close my eyes and do this, I'm gonna hit something. I'm gonna hit something.
And if you just do that in time, you're okay.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
Your ride really cut through last night, by the way, too.
See, this is cool. This is the 24. I got that because I knew Steve Smith used a 24 Ping when he was in Journey. I was like, okay, I want to get a 24-inch ride. They don't really make them, but they've been very cool to make me those, And
are your sticks wood tip or nylon?
Wood tip
they
always.
Are wood.
Yeah, Vader, love them. Great sticks, great company.
Great.
I've been with Zildjian forever, and DW. This will be my 16th year with DW.
Really?
Never go anywhere else. They're the best.
And what wood is this? It's just so beautiful.
This is a maple kit. The neat thing is, if you can see the design, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's the creation of Adam, and I had it done by the artist at DW, Louis Garcia.
Louis,
Who does all the painting, dude. And the coolest thing is, I'll call up and go, dude, I want this done. And like 2 weeks later, he's like, check it out. You like it? I'm like,
right.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I don't have to do a whole lot of R&D with him. He's just like, how do you like this done? He's incredible. The guy's
and use the coated Evans.
Yeah, these hold up the best for me. For sound as well. For me, it's just they're not too dead. They still got a lot of nice depth to them. But I go through like ambassador type heads.
Right. And I noticed last night that you have these mounted very tight.
Yes.
There's no a lot of suspension there. Yeah.
And the reason being,
the sound, of course.
Yeah, and the reason being too is I had Chinas up there. I had them for years.
Right.
And Neil was like, dude, those Chinas are killing me. So we're like, okay, well, let's put these up. It's like, dude, your Chinas are still killing
Hence
me.
the shield?
Yeah, so we got these little things. Yeah, we got the little plexiglass
Everyone
shields
says
up there.
ask him about the shields. Is he
what they
like
are.
an international diplomat? Does he need protection?
You know
What's
what it
with
is,
the
dude?
shield?
I got Family Guy on each one, different episodes on each one. It's awesome. But it's just diffusers for the cymbals, because they do.
Right.
They bleed into Arnell's mic, and they bleed into John's mic, and obviously Neil, it just drives him insane. So but instead of having the fishbowl is what we used to call it. I couldn't stand that.
You're like cut off from it's like not being a part of.
I got to tell you a story. Here's a fun fact. We had the fishbowl on the Def Leppard tour in 2006, and me and my drum tech got so upset about it that we called it a fishbowl. So we would have we'd put little fish all over them and bubbles, right? I had scuba guys all over it just to show the band, look, I'm in a freaking fishbowl. Now you guys get to see me in a fishbowl. This is actually a lot more, it looks
You should press your face and suck on the
dude,
side.
I'm telling you, we had the little, those little things
castle.
you get, the little water things, pull the bubbles up on each side. That's what I get.
Hilarious. This is much better. It's not. It doesn't divide you, and it serves its purpose, which is great.
And that's really important. As you notice, it's just on the cymbals that destroy everyone. So,
right.
And a lot of the cymbals I used in the past, we just switched over to the hybrids. I was using these, bro, the crash rides, the 21-inch crash rides that Zach Starkey was the first prototype guy with those.
Yeah.
I had them all around, and Neil again, dude, come on, get some color into these. They're loud as crap. I was like, okay. So we went down to these, and I love the way they sound. The hybrids are just incredible.
They sounded great.
It's incredible.
And by the way, I want to mention Arnell.
Oh yeah.
Is phenomenal. He's been with you guys since 2008.
I joined in 2007. We did the record, and then toured in 2008 with Heart and Cheap Trick.
Just amazing last night. Amazing showman, great vocalist. If you're not up to date with Journey, dial in, get their DVD, the new documentary. Check him out on tour.
Dude, I'm gonna have to pay him money for this. Hold on a second.
No, it's so well deserved, and that's what we do. We want to promote everything the artists are doing.
Awesome.
And right now, magically, right here on the screen, you can see all of Deen's information. Follow him by himself. Follow him on Journey. Follow him with the Young Royals purple 4-piece kit. It's awesome.
It's an awesome kit.
And man, I can't thank you enough for
Danny
coming on the show,
bro. Your family now, bro. I appreciate you. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And anytime you're in Vegas, whether you're gigging or not, give us a call. Anytime you have something to promote, let us know. Let us push it out there.
Promise the Young Royals will be out probably the end of this year. That's what we're hoping. Like I said, Irving Azoff is working with us on that, and Lil Gary, our manager. So we're gonna do some stuff. It's gonna be great. Hopefully get on the road. We're gonna be off for 8 months journey, so it's like I gotta get back to work with that.
Yeah,
you know?
awesome. Keep us up to date with that.
Always, bro.
When I get up to Oregon to visit my granddaughter,
Dude, come and hang.
I'll
Dinner's
see if
on
you're
me.
home.
I make an amazing pasta. That's all they want to make. Pasta and hot dogs. Everything else.
Oh, I like that. Do you ever mix it?
My dad does. My dad's got the wicked recipe. I'm too ADD. I couldn't sit there and go and just throw a bunch of stuff in and done.
That's right. Whipping up a storm here with Deen Castronovo in the Beast with Journey right here on Drum Talk TV. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon on the next one.
God bless.